I'm MJ, and picture this, the Odin statue at Ribe, Denmark. Ancient, weathered. He's a one-eyed figure leaning heavily on a wooden staff, flanked by two massive ravens in the freezing gray light. No shining armor, no triumphant music, just a grim, fatalistic stare from an old man who has literally seen the end of the world.
I'm AJ, and wait, MJ, that completely contradicts everything we see on modern movie posters. The Odin everyone knows today is a silver-haired, invincible superhero sitting on a gleaming golden throne. We're totally used to a god who solves problems with a lightning bolt and a heroic smile.
AJ, that is exactly the fundamental mistake everyone makes. Marvel tells a shiny superhero story. The real Norse explainer is a gritty survival story. It's darker, it's desperate, and it's far more complex than anything a film studio has ever invented. The people who worship these gods lived in brutal, unforgiving landscapes. Their gods had to reflect that exact harsh reality.
Section 1. The Cosmos.
Wait, aren't these gods immortal? By definition, aren't they just eternal beings solving earthly problems from way up above the clouds? No, the gods are mortal. They bleed, they lose, they die. And most importantly, they know they will die. To understand how they face that terrifying reality, we have to start with the literal structure of their universe. It all begins with a single, colossal entity.
It begins with Yggdrasil, the cosmic ash tree. This isn't just a metaphor or a poetic symbol. In this cosmology, the tree is the literal structure of reality. It holds all of existence together. Its roots dig into the unknown, and its branches scrape the void. Every living thing grows from it, and every single soul is sustained by it. Without the tree, there is simply nothing.
It houses 9 distinct realms within its massive branches and roots. Asgard sits high up for the Aesir gods. Midgard sits right in the middle for us, the humans. Jotunheim belongs completely to the giants, wild and untamed. And then there is Helheim. It's vital to note that Helheim is not some fiery punishment for sinners. It's simply a cold destination where the ordinary dead go to rest. It is a completely neutral end.
Okay, I understand the cosmic geography, but why does an ancient concept of a giant tree matter to anyone living today? It sounds like just another ancient creation myth.
Because Yggdrasil represents a fragile ecosystem. Just like us, the Norse gods lived in an unstable, decaying system. The world tree is constantly being gnawed on from below by a horrific serpent named Nidhogg. Its roots are rotting. 4 massive deer eat its leaves. The cosmos is not stable. It is actively breaking down around them day by day.
Which brings us to Section 2, the sacrifice.
Because their universe is decaying, the gods need an absolute edge to survive, and the lengths they go to are brutal. Take Odin. He hangs himself from Yggdrasil for 9 days and 9 nights in total. Freezing darkness. Stabbed with a spear. He refuses food and water. He literally offers himself in sacrifice to himself just to learn the magic of the runes.
Let me get this straight. The Supreme Allfather willingly tortures himself. He goes through 9 days of pure physical agony just for information?
Yes, and he goes even further than that. He travels to Mimir's well, rips out his own eye, and throws it into the black water. He trades half his physical vision for a single drink of profound cosmic wisdom. Talk about a high asking price for a beverage. But to Odin, the pain is irrelevant. Knowledge is power, and power is survival.
But that cosmic wisdom reveals a terrifying truth. Ragnarok is coming. The absolute, inescapable destruction of the cosmos. The fire giant Searcher will eventually march out and burn the 9 worlds to ash. The stars will vanish. The gods will fight, but they will fail. They cannot prevent their own doom.
So MJ, if they know they're completely doomed, how do they even function? How does ruling a destroyed world apply to our modern human condition at all? It honestly sounds completely nihilistic.
It isn't nihilism at all. It applies because every single person faces death, and every person faces outcomes they cannot prevent. The Norse mindset answers this directly. You do what is right, even when you know it will not save you. You fight for order, despite the absolute certainty of your defeat. Courage isn't about winning. Courage is about how you behave when the loss is absolutely guaranteed.
And that takes us to Section 3, Aesir and Vanir. That intense philosophy of inevitable doom shapes their entire social structure. There are 2 distinct tribes of gods governing this universe. You have the Aes, Odin, Thor, Tyr. They are the gods of war, wisdom, and the violent sky.
Then you have the Vanir, Freyr, Freya, Nord. They control fertility, unpredictable magic, and the deep sea.
War and magic, sky and sea. Do these opposing forces just constantly clash and cause mutual cosmic destruction? It seems like a recipe for immediate disaster.
They do fight the first bloodiest war in the cosmos, but they don't destroy each other. They stop. They exchange high-ranking hostages, and they merge. Opposing worldviews learn to coexist, and violence becomes diplomacy. It's a massive lesson in modern geopolitics, hidden right inside an ancient myth. You don't have to eradicate your enemy, you can integrate them.
Let's recap.
Let's pull this all together. Norse myth is not a superhero comic. It's a brutal, beautiful philosophy built entirely on mortality. It thrives in a decaying universe where the gods themselves are mortal, where they know Ragnarok is coming, and where they know with absolute certainty they will lose.
But they fight anyway. The core truth of the Viking Age is fighting for what is right despite certain defeat. The act itself is where the meaning lives. You don't fight because you're guaranteed a victory, you fight because the action itself defines your worth. And that is a lesson we desperately need today.
So, if that's the world they live in, what happens when we break down the individual psychology of these specific gods? What do we find when we look deeply inside their minds?
We find that Odin, Thor, and Loki are the literal blueprints that built the Viking mind. We will break down their exact, flawed psychology next. But until then, ask yourself, what would you sacrifice today if you knew the world was ending tomorrow?